All right, everybody. Welcome to Music City Trop Rock. I'm your host, Jason AC, coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, or right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, at Leaky Tiki Studios. We got just a really quick few things to talk about, and then we're going to talk to our guest tonight, Miss KIRSTIE Krauss. Have a little bit of, well, right off the bat, I want to say I want to send some prayers out and to all the victims of Helene hurricane and all the people that I know down in Florida. And I know they're doing another evacuation right now for the next hurricane that's coming in, and have reached out to a couple people to check on them. And just want to wish everybody safe travels to get somewhere safe. And everybody's thinking about you and praying for you and hoping for the best. So we got a little bit of trop rock news. I'm just going to try to get through this real quick tonight so we can get going. Speaking of that, there's a special benefit concert that's going to go on during Meeting of the Minds. It's going to be Thursday, the 24th at the South Baldwin Community Center. It is a fundraiser benefit type deal for parrot heads that are affected by the hurricane. I believe that's what it is. That's the way I read it. But it's featuring Peter, Brendan, and Jim Mayer. It's going to be like tickets are like $75 and $100. If you can't go, they're asking you to donate through the Lone Palm Foundation. That's lonepalmfoundation.org. Also, they added Scotty Emmerich to the lineup, but I did not see where they have when he's going to be on or what slot he's playing. I'm not sure if they've figured that out yet. And also this year at Meeting of the Minds, they're going to have day passes. It's going to be $120 a day. So that's good for people that, can't come for the whole deal, but, maybe in town for a day or so, whatever, and just want to go to a certain event. They can do a day pass. So they're trying that out this year. All right. We're going to bring Miss KIRSTIE Krauss on.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
It's so good. I'm so good. I'm very, very happy to be on. I'm your third guest, so here we go.
Well, this is episode 6. Well, yeah, I've had 1, 2, 3.
You probably taped other ones.
I had one that I filmed just for Dockside Live Radio.
Okay.
And that went up. I let them play their whole thing for like a month, and then I put it up. That was with Ray Boone. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
I need to see that one. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it was good. So you're in Nashville right now, right?
Yeah, I'm on the west side, in Bellevue, so we're not probably too far from each other.
I'm well acquainted with Bellevue area. Yeah, nice area. It's amazing what they did with the old mall out there.
Area. just kind of they definitely tried to revamp this part of town, and Mark lives in these down right off the highway to get to Bellevue in these brand new apartments by that Sonic. So they've definitely done a lot of things to this area.
Right. I used to live over there off of Charlotte Avenue in a questionable neighborhood. I won't mention it, but that was an interesting time in my life, but I got out of there. So we've never met in person. So this is a meeting. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We've talked back and forth several times, but I needed to announce tonight. I don't know if you know or many people that listen to this know that this show has been picked up by Radio A1A. So it's going to be broadcast. Thank you. It's going to be broadcasted on Radio A1A. I'm not sure how they're going to do it because this is not really a scheduled time. I don't really do it every Monday, or something like that. So they're going to start playing all the ones that I've done so far, and then we'll pick up sometime. So I'm not sure when this episode will be on there, but I'll let you know if I know.
Awesome.
So I don't know, but it'll still be on here. This is still going to be the home, and I've got it published onto my own podcast. Wherever you do podcasts, it's on there. But it'll also be on Radio A1A.
I know you from we connected through Mark Mulch, and then also the Grays told me about how we're going to do a shindig on Tuesday night and we're celebrating your album release. And so I cannot wait to head over there and
are you going to be
there to celebrate and hang out? Yeah, it's going to be super fun.
Cool. Cool. I've never been to that place, but I've seen pictures. Is it pretty cool?
Yeah, they have quite a nice setup, and they have freaking like 8 foot or something, 10 foot fence around. So it's literally feels like this their own oasis,
To keep
like
out the riffraff?
secluded, yeah, space. It's they did a good job with it for real.
Cool, cool. All right. So before I forget, I got a big sign up here on my billboard. I wish you could see I got the way this setup is. I got all my notes here so I can keep going. I don't know. Have you seen any of the other episodes? Have you watched any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I got to ask you the question: do you believe in Bigfoot?
Okay. I knew this was going. So
And
my great uncle,
I did
yeah,
talk to Ray Boone on the side because I
and he
forgot to
checked
ask him.
no.
He said no.
So I grew up where my family's cabin is from like Wisconsin, and my family's cabin is way up in the top in Lake Country. And my great uncle would tell us stories in detail about these just like marks on the tree and like these footprints that he's seen. And he so I believed, like I believe. I you gotta check yes. For me, I've heard the stories from the North Woods.
All right, I'm
So
putting you down.
maybe he's just a superhuman, that makes his way to everywhere, but he definitely was in the North Woods at some point.
Awesome. So I think what I'm going to do with this when I get this filled up with guests, I'm going to call
Yeah,
this season 1, and then I'm going to just frame this and put it on my wall up here.
I love it. I love it.
So
Well,
so
Ray Boone's
you're
not a believer.
no, although he sent me a picture of him with a t-shirt that had what do they call it in Florida? Swamp ape. He had like a swamp ape shirt on, but he said he didn't believe. So I figured for sure he was a believer.
That's funny.
So are you originally from Wisconsin?
I am. I used to tell people, like, because I didn't want to get into the whole story, that I was just born and raised. People would be like, "You're born and raised in Wisconsin." I'd be like, "Yeah." There's a caveat. I was born in Coral Springs, Florida, and my parents were living up their 20s, taking jobs down there, and then basically got pregnant, had me, and then 2 weeks later we moved back up to Wisconsin by extended family. So I can say I was born in Florida, but I lived, most of my life in Wisconsin, and now 7 years in Nashville as of October 3rd. That was my anniversary date.
How many years in Nashville did you say?
7.
7 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever say to your parents, "Why didn't y'all stay in Florida?"
Yes, I definitely hopefully in the cards for me, that is life goals. I want to have like a second place in Florida.
For sure. But unfortunately, you have to deal with the weather down there.
The weather, yes, gets hot, but I'm like an ocean girl, so
Yeah.
I'll just swim. And I know, like you started off the episode, just throwing out prayers and all the things for the people. I was just in Anna Maria Island. I chose to still go to Florida for my birthday weekend and festivities. And my aunt's like, it doesn't look the same, Anna Maria Island. And luckily for her, she's on the second floor, but her neighbors down below were up staying in her bedroom because they got 3 feet of water, and so they're
Oh,
gutting their
wow.
places right now, and things are all out on the curb, and things look very different in that area, and like the island is not open whatsoever, Anna Maria Island. So it's very sad because some of those places, like that's my second home down there,
Mm,
and that's where I like to go. I like to see the people, like the workers. I like know them, so it was definitely a different trip this time.
right, right. Yeah, we're gonna need to send prayers out to all these people and help in any way we can. Uh, Real quick, I have to say, let me lift this up.
Eh,
I,
what an upset. What a crazy game. And I had
I,
to share that on my story. Like, why didn't the police? My question for you is, why did the police not stop them? Why did they think that's okay to put a goalpost in the Cumberland? Like,
I don't, I
that should
hadn't,
be illegal.
I don't know. I don't, I hadn't figured that out. I'm from Mississippi and I'm an Ole Miss alumni, and so I'm an Ole Miss rebel through and through. But my wife works for Vanderbilt, and I'm repping Vandy
There you
today
go.
because it was a great win. Anytime that somebody can beat Bama, I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah. And
But
I'm actually going to the Iron Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I have never experienced, I Badgers, Packers, we have football going on up in
Right.
Wisconsin. So I've never experienced anything like it. So my first game down in the South will be the Iron Bowl, like
Oh, you've never
Tuscaloosa.
been to
Yeah,
an SEC game?
no, it's
Wow,
gonna
okay.
be yeah, it's gonna
You
be an experience.
you're going to a big one then. That
And like,
that's one of the
yeah,
big
who
boys.
gets to say that? So I'm a very adventurous person, so I'm excited to have have that be part of the adventures.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I saw the video of them toting the goalpost all the way down Broadway, and then I was like, "Why are they throwing it in the river?"
Right?
Like,
Why?
I don't understand.
That's vandalism. Like I don't.
Then somebody had to fish it out. Oh,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about some music. Your latest single, "Dabba Dolly" with Christy Huff.
Yeah.
I've watched the video and really cool video. Some interesting places it looks like that y'all shot the video. The whose ever house that was,
Yeah.
especially like the bedroom. It's pretty fancy looking. The bedroom is
Right,
pretty
right, right.
fancy. It looked like something out of Graceland or something. Was that
Yeah,
here in Nashville?
I'm going to Graceland just for fun soon. I've never been, but I was right out of Nashville. It's on the east side. I found them through just looking up, trying to find pink. There's Airbnbs that are pink, but I looked at a bunch of places and none of them did it like this house. So
Mhm.
I like fought to get that location. I spoke to the lady. I was like, please, this is my dream space to do this music video. I feel like if we're going to do it, why not make it super extra pink? And it's like Legally Blonde, meets Barbie meets whatever movies.
Was
It's
that the same
wild.
house? The outside of the house and the inside, is that all the same house?
It's all the same, and they live there,
Oh,
believe
wow.
it or not. That's how they live, with a pink
Wow.
vacuum and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh, is it like a husband and wife? I'm sure the husband doesn't like all this pink.
It's a husband and wife, but I don't think he minds with the amount of money that they're making off this
Okay.
property, and she does, I guess, like costumes and antique thrifting, so they're constantly like reselling and turning over like kind of what their sets are, and I'm just really glad that it worked out and it was right in town.
I think I remember reading or hearing about a psychological study years ago the military did. Like they did put people in different colored rooms, and the color pink drove people insane quicker than any other color.
Really? Well, that was not the intention of this song, was to be like just bring people to a happy place, really grab the essence of Dolly in the time of 9 to 5 and Two Doors Down, like those songs. And I I actually will be visiting Dollywood on coming up on the 18th and 19th. I'm going to play Dollywood. So we'll see how pink, we'll
Yeah.
see. I'll be able to tour. I haven't been out to Dollywood since I was 11. So
Oh,
I'm excited to just be a part of it and then play shows at night and check out the roller coasters.
yeah. I hadn't been there in a few years. Tell us about the song. Like you wrote it, or Christy, did y'all co-write it? Whose idea was it? And tell us about the creation of that song.
It was I gotta say it was both of our ideas. It was a saying that I started saying on stage whenever I would cover a Dolly Parton song. I just would be on stage and I'd finish up Jolene and I'd be like, "Oh, there's your Dabba Dolly," and kind of like Dollop a Daisy, like the
Yeah.
commercial. So I
Hmm.
started saying like, "There's your Dabba Dolly," and Christy was on stage with me and she like stopped. She stopped me and she's like, "Wait, we're writing in 2 days. Like, write that down." So she was the one that was like, "Stop, human, like write that down. We need to write that song." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool." And I like wrote it down on my phone. And 2 days later, it was at like 9 a.m. We had to write on our way out of town. We were going to be leaving Wisconsin, the Madison area, to go back to Nashville. So we had like a 9.5 hour drive. So we just did like a write on Zoom with my friend Joe Sly and Christy and I put all of us together and we rewrote that song pretty quick. It was really fun.
I really like the you threw the 9 to 5 lick in there. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That,
We
that was
had
that
to.
that was cool. Have you ever met Dolly?
I have not. I was meeting with her producer and so and so and so and so knows, you know, and I'm like, cool, like let me meet her. That would be
Mhm.
amazing. I don't know. I ran through in my mind so many, you know, variations of how I would even just say hi. So,
Right.
and I heard that she didn't like to be touched because one of my like go-to moves was going to be to like just rub my arm on her so I could just like get the essence, you know, like,
Like a cat?
and they're like, no, 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 she doesn't like to be touched. Like, you don't touch her. Yeah. Just like get a little bit of her energy, you know, like
So you're a super duper Dolly fan.
Dolly Parton is queen. She's queen. Like
Well,
she's like there's nobody bigger in the icon status female country than her. You know, like I have a lot of influences, but Dolly is killing the game and she has been for a very long time and she's had to fight and combat a lot of things and she remained very true to herself. She's 100% a writer and that's I look up to that a lot.
mhm.
And she keeps her personal life private. There's just so many different aspects about her and how she's done her career and that I would just look up to embody.
Mhm. I saw where she donated $1 million to the Helene relief the other day. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
she's stepping it up. That's her people
Yeah.
over there in Appalachia. I just recently moved my son out of Asheville, probably just about 4 weeks ago now. He moved back home, I guess, just in time, because
Nice.
Asheville was
Yeah.
destroyed.
Wow.
Asheville got
Yeah.
destroyed. So do you know what, or do you remember what was the catalyst for you becoming a Dolly Parton fan?
You know, it was the I Will Always Love You song. And and then I looked up who wrote that song and then that started and that really started it. Because at the time I was just getting into country music at 7 years old. And so I was really just diving in to like Martina and Jody Messina and Faith Hill and Leanne Rimes. Those were like the women. And then like
Mhm.
Sarah Evans was really big at the time. Um, but yeah, I before country music, so before I was 7, it was it was Celine Dion, it was Whitney, it was Christina Aguilera, it was all that. Brandy, Brittany. So I followed, you know, Whitney Houston and Mariah, and so when she sang the "I Will Always Love You" song, I was like, well, who wrote that? You know, like that's crazy, that's amazing. And I looked up the songwriter, and then that was I just dove in.
That's pretty cool that the Whitney version drew you into Dolly. I guess it probably did for
Yeah,
a lot of people, but uh, I don't guess I've ever heard anybody say that personally. That's a cool story.
yeah, because I think, you know, we didn't, as a family, didn't start listening to country music till I was 7 years old. So, like, I mean, my mom said that she was 8 months pregnant with me and she went to a Charlie Daniels concert, but I don't remember that. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, so
right.
I remember them playing like Styx and Fleetwood Mac and like 80s rock and Elton John and Phil Collins, which I love, but I don't remember like female country music happening until they realized that like they have a child that is going to sing no matter what and they need to like find things for her
Yeah.
to do.
So you got a good eclectic mix of music injection as a young girl from your parents. You got a lot of stuff, a lot of different
Yeah.
influences.
Yeah,
I
we
was
were part of a CD club. Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, we had 10 new CDs every month. It was great.
Did you ever pay for them?
Well, you pay like $1 for this club. You pay $1 a month, and then you get like 10 CDs, and you like pick out the CDs.
I remember it well. I remember tape clubs, so that's how old I am.
Oh, there you go. I do have some cassette tapes of me singing.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
but yeah, but I mean, I started doing solos when I was 5. Like sometimes people ask me like when music started, and it just always was. like I jumped up on picnic tables when I was 2. So it was just music was always gonna be the thing that I did.
So that's the reason you moved to Nashville was for music
Hmm.
and chasing were you chasing a record deal or you just wanted to be here?
I wanted to be in Music City where people wrote songs. I wanted to learn how to write songs, and I say I live here, but I'm a road dog, so I'm on the road. I don't stay in my bed quite as much as maybe like other artists, but I love the feeling of getting away and going and performing and then coming back, like, and getting it really does give me perspective on this city.
Mhm. I was gonna ask you who your PR person was because, man, you're all over social media. You got it going on. Like, what
Thank you.
do you do any of that, or do you hire that out,
I
or
do
what?
all of that.
Wow. That's
I
the
do
hard
all of
part.
that.
That is the
It's
hard part.
it's so bad because I will do things when I'm driving, and that's not great. I remember when
Mm,
TikTok made that rule, you couldn't be like in the car when you're doing something.
but you don't do that in Tennessee because that's illegal in Tennessee, so I know
It's
you don't
illegal
do
to
that.
have your phone. Oh, good thing I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah, you can't be holding your phone in the state of Tennessee. It's crazy, but doing a good job. I was,
Thank you.
this week doing research, looking at all your stuff, and I'll follow you anyway, but I'm like, "Man, she's really." I need to take lessons, and I try to, germ off of people that are doing it better than me, and that's the hard part for me is coming up with things to post and, uh, and feeling awkward when you're promoting yourself,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing.
I get that. I had to have when I was transitioning from my band name and band names to my name, I remember feeling very weird about that. I did like for a year and a half, it was Kirstie Kraus and Thirsty Jones, like Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Like I was really trying to like get myself to move that way. And I remember feeling so awkward being like, my name is Kirstie Kraus. Like you should check out my music. Like it felt very weird. And
Mhm.
like I've been full time now for 8.5 years, so like it's definitely feels it's just what it is. It's part of
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I remember it feeling really weird, and the act of like promoting your own stuff, like it felt weird.
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple of your others. I don't wanna keep you too long 'cause I know you said you couldn't stay too long, but, speaking of collaborations, we were talking about your song you did with Christy Hub. Of course, you've
Yes.
had a bunch of your own stuff out. Beaches Be Crazy. I think
Yeah.
is a brilliant title
I love that.
to start with.
That is all Scott. He had that title. He had that title for about 3 years. He said he was looking for the perfect person. And we finally set
Who'd
up
you
a
write it
right.
with?
Scott Southworth. And he has
Okay.
his version now on the album that just came out in July for him. So he has his version, and then I have my version. I just put it out before his album. But
Okay.
it was so much fun to write that song. So much
I'll
fun.
have to check it out. Have to check it out.
Yeah.
But you have to tell me about this crazy looking jumpsuit that you wore for that song. Like, where did that
Yeah.
come from?
Okay, so we were writing the song, and he's like, I kind of envision this like Buffalo Soldier intro thing. I was like, okay. So it's like got this like Spanish mariachi band, right? And I'm like super into that. Let's do that. So we went and recorded it, and it has that. We like
Mhm.
literally pieced horns, and we made little horn parts like kind of off, so it sounded like a live mariachi band, like details. And um in my head, I was like, all right, I need a cover photo for this song. Like, what could I do? And I remember this random photos that we took in Key West, like a year and a half, 2 years prior, where they do those onesie crawls
Mhm.
down in Key West. So they had 12 of these pinata onesie outfits. And at one point, Crystal King and I, we go on tour a decent amount together and do stuff separately too. We put these onesies on and we took pictures, like a little photo shoot. And if you really zoom in to the cover photo, you can see like her hair on my shoulder. Like, because I didn't edit it out. There's like little black hair. But I basically was like, what about that picture? Because I remembered I looked a little crazy in it. I had this
Or you were in
ridiculous
Key West.
onesie on. Right. I was in Key West. Like,
Yeah.
there's a verse about Key West. So I think it just like popped in my head. So I reached out to them and asked them basically if I could like have like use a onesie for additional promo videos and things. And now I just bring that thing around. They gave it to me. They gave me one of the 12 and I just carry it around everywhere.
So that is supposed to be a piñata. I never could really figure out what it
Yeah.
was supposed to
It's like
be.
the OG pinata, so what that like a llama kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Um, and so I was looking at through listening to some of your other stuff. You put out an album called Yes You Can in 2022.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you about this because I can really hear like I can on that album specifically, I can hear some R&B influence in your
Cool.
vocal style. And I was going to ask you, did you have R&B influences? But now we've all kind of already covered that.
Yeah,
But
I said Brandy. Well, someone recently told me because like R&B, blues, like this is what someone told me because I never was able, I can do marketing sentences for other people, but I was never able to do it for me because I'm like too close to it. But
mhm.
someone was like, it's like Jody Messina meets Susan Tedeschi, um, meets like, what do they say, on a boardwalk because it
Mhm.
has that trop rock, like softer thing to it. And I was like, that's really interesting. But it's essentially, I tell people it's like, I do country music, but then it's got this blues thing. But then I have like this 70s stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of influences in there. I definitely like 70s chords and funky bass lines. So there's that.
Yeah, well, that leads me in my next question I was going to ask you is that do you feel like you came to Nashville for country and then you've made a name for yourself in the trop rock world. So do you feel like you're kind of in a middle ground between the two? And by the way, I believe that's what I'm going to name my next album is Middle
Okay.
Ground because that I feel the same way. I feel like I have one foot in country and one foot on the beach. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. I mean, I love to write all kinds of music. I write all kinds of music for other people. I would love to put out a full on like trop rock album and then also like a 70s funk album and then a Christian album and then a Christmas album. Like I just want to put out as much music as humanly possible. That's like I would love to look back one day and have like way more than 10 albums out. Like
Yeah.
a lot. That's my goal because I feel like I have all these songs and they're all my babies and I just want to like give them life or share them because I don't just write them for me. So um I definitely like a trop rock album is a dream and I don't have the funds for that right now, but I'm trying to figure it out. And I've definitely written I think I'm at like 30 some songs that you could consider, being trop rock. And so, my next singles, I really follow the path that God puts me on. And so right now, like I have an opportunity to put a song out with Mike Nash.
Mhm.
And if Mike Nash wants to do a song with you, you do the damn song with Mike Nash. And we wrote a great female male duet. And it's just like celebrating this couple that met in Key Largo. And then 20 years later, they go back to Key Largo where they met. And then they decide that they want to stay in Key Largo. And it's just this beautiful story. And I've been doing a lot of duets lately, like you said. And that's been really fun. Essentially, I'm just kind of like putting out duets, love collaboration, and eventually there will be an album.
I know you put out Tied Down with Mark Mulch that y'all did
Yes.
together, and that's been doing really good for y'all. It's on the radio, uh, and you do a lot with Crystal King too as 4K. But have you? I was going to ask, have y'all ever put out a song together, or
We
just
have
perform together?
not. We just have performed together. It's been probably like 2 years that we performed together. And touring with a girl, like after touring with guys, touring with a girl was like so much better for me. Like I really needed that. And she is my work husband. So like we get along, we laugh a lot. We're like two little kids. And I think this is what I was gonna say earlier that I forgot. I think like I am a little kid at heart, and that is one of the things I love about the Trop Rock community. And I was saying this in Louisville, Kentucky, like I am choosing to stay only because I feel like a lot of the parrot heads just like to have a good time. They're there to chill, and like they're little kids at heart. They'll get dressed up, they'll have fun. We all like the same music. I'm like so in. And like I said, I'll say this: when I leave, when I go to leave a festival, you know, Donnie Brewer, Michelle has witnessed this. I am always crying, like I'm crying because I don't want it to be over. And like that's something you have to follow, you know. If you're not crying at a different festival, but then you're crying because you don't want this festival to be over,
Yeah, the
like you
community
got to
is
follow that,
special. They
you
are
know?
very supportive of their artists and
Yeah.
protective of them, and
Yeah.
they want to keep it going. I think it's something special that they do a lot for
Yeah.
charity, and it's a unique,
Yeah. And
a
good
very unique,
people.
yeah, very unique community to be a part of, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far.
And I'm like, I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't even need alcohol to be a weirdo. Like, I'm not just like to be, you know, like I'll dress up and wear the costume and the whole thing. And so I really just feel like at home, you know, and that's why I've just been following down on this path. It feels good.
Yeah. Well, cool. Let's talk about some upcoming dates you got. I know you're going to be at Meeting of the Mind. You got well tomorrow night. You're playing in Nashville. I saw with
Yes.
the Nashville Visitor Center, and then the Good Company Writers Round. You got 2 gigs in one day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited to be back. I got back like, I don't know, a day and a half ago. And now I'm going to do some shows in town. One is like an hour set, and then one's a writer's round.
Hmm.
So it'll be fun. Yeah.
Cool. And then you're going to be at, like you said, October 18th. You're going to be at Dollywood, the Heart Song Lodge. Is that right? Yeah,
Yes.
Heart Song
Yes.
Lodge. Is that inside Dollywood Heart Song Lodge?
It's
I'm not sure.
it's not inside the amusement park like with the roller coasters. It's the hotel like right next to it
Oh,
with
okay.
like the restaurant and the hotel. It's kind of like the resort that's right next to it.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'll be doing coasters by day and then singing. There'll be 2 sets of 45-minute sets at night
Are you
on that Friday and Saturday.
are you doing all? Is that all original stuff, or do you do some cover songs, or what?
Yeah, I might throw in like a mashup, like a couple of cover songs. I mean, a 45-minute set's pretty quick. So,
Hmm.
like, even in Louisville, Kentucky, there was 75-minute set. I did probably 3 covers, you
Hmm.
know? So I don't, I know more of my songs than I know covers, but like, we're working at it. We can do that, you know? So I'm gonna do like a Dolly medley, maybe into like, you know, Johnny Cash, June Carter, and then back, you know, maybe some Willie and then go back into Dolly and do like a little mashup.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then you're going to be at the Meeting of the Minds. Let's see.
Yes.
You're doing the pirate ship cruise with Crystal King. What day is that?
Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday,
Thursday.
I am so excited. I have my costume ready. My mom has her costume. Crystal has her. We all got pirate costumes. And when I was asked to do something, I never thought I would be singing on a pirate ship. Like I just think that's the coolest thing ever. So I'm just really excited to like kick off the week officially. I'll be at Lulu's on Tuesday for a little bit, and then at your party, and then Wednesday will be the pirate ship
Is that
cruise.
in the morning? The
It's
pirate ship?
at 11:30 is boarding time, so it's like noon to 1:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we have
Mm.
like two. Last I heard, we had 3 tickets left, and then someone got one, so we might have like 2 tickets left.
I might have to snatch them up.
Yes.
And then you're playing. Where are you playing at Meeting of the Minds? Do
I'm
you
gonna
know?
be on the mermaid stage. That's Friday, and then I'm gonna be at the VIP pool deck. I believe on Saturday. I I don't have the schedule in front of me, but
Hmm.
I've already gone through the website and essentially added everyone's things into the calendar, so I know like which stage I have to go to. You know, if I want to see Ricky Lamb, because then like certain people, I want to make sure I go like Heather Vidal. Can't miss her. Like when that voice, like can't miss Heather. So I make sure to like I'm like okay, where's everyone gonna be? And Ricky's gonna have us at Scoops. Is that what's Scoop,
The
Slop,
Sloop, the Sloop.
Sloop?
Yeah.
He's gonna have us one of the nights. So I'm excited about that.
It seems like there's a lot more going on this year. So like you, I've got
Yeah.
to sit down and try to figure out where I'm going
Yeah.
or I don't want to miss anything, you know, I don't want to miss the
Yeah.
things that I want to see.
Well,
So
I will also like, it's not on the schedule, like it doesn't note that officially, but that Thursday night at 4:30, Mike Nash will have his full band show at the Hangout, and I'm going to be joining him so we can sing our song that's coming out in the
oh,
future,
your new song.
very, very soon. I'm
Cool.
working on it now, all the mixes. So yeah, that will be. I'm really excited for that.
Have to check that out. Are there any more big events or dates you want to throw out there so people know where to check you out?
Yeah, I have a lot of house concerts coming up next year. So I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna be going up to Wisconsin coming up. Definitely lots of Florida dates for the winter time. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much 2025 basically, which is nuts.
It's right around the corner. So where can people find you? Like what's your main most avenue where people can check out what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is great, but I'm very active on social media. So like if you go to Facebook or YouTube or the website at KIRSTIEKRAUS.com, then that will take you to all the places. But that would be wonderful.
All right, yeah, go check her out. Kirstie, we're gonna get out of here. I don't want to keep you too long, but I appreciate you so much for joining me. And maybe you can come back later on if you got some more things going on that you want to publicize or whatever, or
Oh yeah.
just want to chit chat or whatever. But thank you so much for joining me.
I love that. Thank you for having me. I literally could talk music with you all night. Like that's my favorite subject. So
Well,
I
we'll
really
talk about it some
appreciate you.
more sometime. Yeah. And thank you,
Perfect.
viewers. Thank all the viewers and listeners for viewing and listening. Fins up, keep the party going.
Thumbs
And
up. Yes.
thank y'all for watching. Music City
Bye,
Trop
guys.
Rock. See y'all. All right.